Hello, YouTube. Gene here from Trident Farms Academy, LLC. Today I wanted to talk about tactical pens. So, I guess the first question we have to ask is, what is a tactical pen? Is there really such a thing? One definition I found online was a tactical pen can be a deadly survival weapon in the right set of hands. In the wrong set of hands, it is a harmless writing utensil. Well, I don't know if I'd go so far as saying it's harmless, right? Pen is mightier than the sword. Words can hurt. All that other good stuff. Anyway, the tactical pen, I'm not a big fan of the word tactical. Everything is tactical. Unfortunately, if you look at these pens, these are some of my pens. Very few of mine. Very few of them are black. Only a couple of them are black. None of them have Velcro on them. How can they be tactical? If it's not black with Velcro, it's not tactical. So, yeah, jokes aside. What is a tactical pen or a defensive pen? Must have a strong body. This pen is a Kara's custom retract pen. I'll talk more about this in a moment. But it's a solid brass pen. It is pretty tough. Very strong, a little bit on the heavy side, but it is definitely a defensive tool if you need to use it as a defensive tool. So, what are the pens? They got to have a strong body. I'm not a big fan of the ones that break in the middle, reload from the middle, like this, the 511 pre-fence. With that center break, that is going to be a weak point for the pen. I think this one's probably pretty good. It's an aluminum body, so it's probably strong enough. One like this, which is I would definitely not call a defensive pen, a tactical pen. It's very weak here in the middle. You get one nice solid blow on that, and it's going to break right there in the middle. It's just what they do. So I prefer not to have them break in the middle. Any of these could be a good defensive tool. You've got to remember, these also can be deadly weapons. This is absolutely, if I strike you in the head or neck with this, it's going to be, it's going to hurt. It has potential of killing you. So they can be a lethal weapon. Be careful when you use them defensively. They can go in at escalation of force, can be used as a strike tool. Good thing about them is they can be taken places that other weapons like knives and guns cannot be taken. Another good thing about tactical pens is they're good for people like me. I'll say it, geeks. I'm a geek. I love pens. I've got a weakness for pens. I've also heard pens described as a focus impact tool, meaning if you strike somebody in pressure points, it gives the energy is focused into a very fine point. It's gonna, yeah. So focused impact weapon, I guess. If you're gonna use them to strike soft, vulnerable areas like the face, neck, throat, neck and throat, I guess, ribs, abdomen, major muscle groups. Dang, you just got fly by. Oh, little flybys, little bugs. Yeah, be creative where you strike somebody. Also remember, if you have to defend yourself, be vicious, be merciless. Do not fight fair. In the words of Clint Smith of Thunder Ranch, if you're in a fair fight, your tactics suck. Tactical pens can be similar to Kubotans. This is almost a Kubotan. This is actually a Asp Defender. I really like this. It is a, it does have pepper spray. Twist this little piece off right here. It is loaded with pepper spray, pretty hot. Unfortunately, these Defenders and many Kubotans can't get past into restricted areas like airports, past TSA, courthouses, any other restricted area where there's metal detectors. This will probably be confiscated and not returned. This I generally use as a keychain, depending on my court schedule. So, yeah, Good tools, great standoff devices, great defensive tools. Works great as an impact weapon and a focused. What is it? Focused point weapon? No, focused impact weapon. So I can strike into major muscle groups, side of your head. Definitely going to hurt a bit. So good tools, but they are restricted on where they can go and where they can be taken. So when I'm selecting pens, and I have a couple, what do I look for in a pen? Well, I guess I should start here with a simple admission. I have a problem. I like pens, lots of pens. I like to write, and I like nice pens. I like pens that, yeah, this one's going on almost 20 years. Beautiful pen. Yeah, not cheap. I've had this, like I said, I think I've had this one for, gosh, almost 20 years now. Great pen, very fancy, very nice, very strong, good solid metal body. It does divide in the middle, and that would be the weak point for it. But can be used as a defensive tool. Obviously, I've never needed to use it that way. But yeah, I like nice pens. This is a very small selection of some of my pens. Yeah, I like pens. I've probably got at least 5 times this many, at least. And that's not meaning like the little disposable Bic pens, but nice metal pens. I got a problem. You have penaholics. Like nice pens. Any pen can really work for a defensive tool for the most part. I tend to prefer clicky pens or retractable pens, pens like this. For a couple of reasons, are a good training aid for double action, single action trigger control. Plus that, when I pull a pen out of my pocket, I want to be able to write with it. I don't want to have to twist around. Oftentimes I'm writing with one hand while my other hand is holding a notebook or otherwise occupied. So I tend to prefer simple, easy, clicky pens. Clicky? Retractable pens like that. That tends to be my favorite. I don't like, generally, I'm not a big fan of removable caps like this one, where I've got to unscrew the cap. A couple of problems with that. One, I've got to use two hands to open it. The other problem is I lose this part. Yep, I lose it. So generally I don't like these types of pens with removable caps. Too complicated for me, too much time. I'm lazy. I don't like that. Twist pens will sometimes work. This is one of my current favorites. This is a titanium pen. The end twists here, and it uses G2 pilot refills, which I really like. This is one of my current favorite ones. It's nice and slim, very light, made of titanium, very strong. Even though it is a twist top, and I generally don't like the twist top, but this one I do like. I am a fan of that one. All right, so let's talk about these pens. I've already told you about the Asp Defender, and I'll link to all these down below. I'll link all these. So the Smith & Wesson pen, this is made by Charade, but this is marketed by Smith & Wesson, made by Charade. This is the SWPEN-BK. This one will run you about $23. Uses Parker refills, and when I say Parker refills, understand Parker refills also include Fisher-Price pens or Fisher-Price refills. This pen is from Tough Rider Precision. This is a Tough Rider Precision pen. This one will run you $85 to $90, depending on the color you want to get. Good pen, strong. I kind of wish the tip had come out a little bit more, which is just a little idiosyncrasy on my part. But very good pen. These ridges here are actually made so you can grip it and it doesn't slip out of your hand. I heard people say that they don't like clicky pens because, that's a moving part. Well, my way of thinking, if I make a fist around this and I push that down, it just makes the tip that much sharper. I'm okay with that. Probably only going to use it once, probably going to destroy the pen, but deal with it. Next, we've got another Schrade tactical pen. This is the SCPEN-BK. Good, sturdy pen. Very solid. Little on the thick side for me, and definitely on the short side. I've got fairly large hands, but that's, I mean, not a whole lot of that. So it's a little on the small side, but decent pen, decent price. What did I say? It was 25 to 30 bucks. That's cool. And then this one, like I mentioned earlier, this is the Kara's Custom Retract Pen. This one runs 60 bucks. Generally, this one right here is 80 bucks because of the brass. It's all brass, all made out of brass. Nice little knurling up here to grab your fingers. Very sturdy pen. It took me a bit of work to get it to age like this. And I say age, basically that means neglect. Or when I say neglect, let me start again. Took a bit of work on my part to get it to age like this. And when I say work, what I mean is neglect, like aged brass. Call it my hearkening back to my sailor days. Yeah, inside joke. Like this pen, it's a very nice pen, very heavy. Again, it uses Pilot G2 gel refills, which are nice, easy to use. I mentioned this pen only for demonstration purposes. This is a very cheap bullet pen. I have no idea where I got it or how much I paid for it, but it was cheap. It feels cheap. It's very light, very flimsy. I have, by the way, had issues getting this passed into restricted areas. Didn't like it in court. TSA hates it. I guess it looks like a bullet, therefore it's dangerous. Yeah, it's got a pin in the middle, but it looks like a bullet. So yeah, that pen can be an issue. Something to keep in mind. The titanium tactical defensive pen. One of my current favorites. Like I said, this one runs about $40 on Amazon. It does also have this neat little thing where you twist this tip off right here, twist the end off, and you can reverse it. And it's got this what they call a little glass breaking point right there. I don't know if you can see that little glass breaking point. The problem with that is when you grab it, all it's doing is sticking into your finger. So yeah, I leave it stuck the other direction, and I don't have a problem with that. Honestly, don't have, well, at this point, have no intention or desire of breaking windows with it. But on to this one of my more expensive ones, one of the most comfortable ones to write with because of the shape of the body here. This is a Surefire EWP4 writing pen. Interesting that they did not call it a tactical pen, even though it comes from Surefire. Very nice pen. This one runs $92 in black, $102 in tan, which, believe it or not, this is actually what they call their tan color. It's also serialized. Has a serial number there on the back, which I guess you can track your pen if somebody steals it from you. A very sturdy, retractable design. It uses Parker refills or, of course, Fisher Space Pen. I wonder if I didn't say Fisher Price earlier. This is a relatively new pen for me from 511 Prefence. This is the 511 Prefence Lance pen. Runs about 52 bucks. A little on the high side, but it's very light, very sturdy. For me, it's a bit on the thick side. Other than that, it's a decent pen. Nothing to scream about. Uses Parker refills. Works fine. Nothing here nor there, but it's there. And then, like I said, I generally tend to prefer slimmer pens. Here's a couple other ones that are my current favorite ones. This is the Lamy, Lamy. I hope that's how you say it. Lamy? I don't know. Uses a proprietary refills, but it writes very smoothly. I like this pen. Aluminum body, so it's not overly strong, but it can work, and it writes very well. This is one, and I can't even start to tell you how to say this. It's a Swiss pen. It's Caran d'Ache, CARAND''ACHE. So if you guys know how to speak French, let me know. I think it's French. Caran d'Ache. Nice pen, very nice pen. Uses Parker refills or a proprietary refill that they have that appears to be a pressure refill, much like the Fisher Space Pens. Nice pen, writes great. This one also has a little nub on the end there, so I can write on my tablet, my iPad if I have to. Those are some of my current favorites. Of course, I mentioned this nice little fancy Elise pen. Simple Parker pen, thin one. Like this one a lot. Again, I'm a pen geek. Some brands to think of course, like I said, Parker, Rodring. This is one of theirs. Had this one for a long time. This is actually one of those ones that I generally tend not to like with the removable cap. Usually, this will use Parker refills, or they have their own brand or their own version. Same one. Very sturdy. This one's very strong, steel body. Definitely could be used as a defensive tool, but again, I'm not. And depending, you see, you could put blue, make it a blue pen, or you twist this if you got black ink in it, or you twist it. I guess only blue or black. Thought it was red in there, but I guess not. Yeah, little gimmick. That's a nice pen. Schmidt pens. I'm enjoying a lot of Schmidt pens, or some Schmidt pens. Got a couple here. Again, sturdy pens, clicker, retractable types, clicky pens like those. Another Parker one. I'm a Parker geek. Another Parker pen. Cross pens work well, reasonably well. Twist pens again. Not as happy with the cross ink as I am with Parker though, so whatever. Wooden pen. Here's a Fisher Space Pen. Writes upside down, writes in the rain. Good pen. Decent body shape. I like it. Fairly strong. This one, of course, would be a tactical pen because it is black. So that's a tactical pen. Virtue of being black. This one's a Lotus pen that I picked up a long time ago. Uses Schmidt refills. Very nice rollerball pen. I like the fact that it's got a flat base on it and I can grab it nice and just sturdy. Wonderful pen, kind of heavy. Mickey Mouse pen, Parker pen. Of course, got Mickey Mouse leather wrapped, all the little Mickey faces on it because I'm a geek. Another Lamy pen, another Parker pen, another Crondrache, if you say it like that, or however you say it. Another Schmidt rollerball pen. Really like this one. Good one with a retractable pen body. This is sort of a specialty pen, which is kind of interesting. This one actually has a handcuff key at the end. It generally takes Parker refills, and it's empty right now, but it has a handcuff key there at the end, which you might be able to make a little bit right there. And it does work. I've used this to lock and unlock, not the lock, but to unlock handcuffs. It works very well. I'm really surprised this isn't more popular in law enforcement. Thing to think about with these pens, they can get in you. The restricted areas don't like these courts, jails. I don't know about TSA, never flew with this one. But if it's got a handcuff key, can't take it into courts or jails. One other type that I use a lot of are retractable pens, and I've got an idea for these I want to use. This one's a Zebra, very cheap, but actually pretty well made. I was actually really impressed. Wouldn't so much use this one for a defensive weapon or a defensive tool, but it's writes very well, decent capacity, ink capacity. The other thing I like about this one, I want to try putting it into a notepad at the top so it comes down. Working on a guy making some notepads for me, and I'm thinking that. This one's a telescoping pen from Fisher Space Pen again. Uses their refills. It clicks open, it clicks closed. I had to add the clip on it, but again, I'm looking at these for little notepads and things. So there you have it. There's a small collection of my pens. Video went a lot longer than I anticipated, but yeah, it's a small collection, a small sampling of my collection of pens. Can be good for defensive tools, so try it. Hopefully you guys don't get bit by pen bugs like I do and have to buy every pen you see because it looks like something new. End up with a bunch of the same pens. if you like the video or tolerated the video, please like our channel. Or what do you do? Subscribe to our channel. Like us on Facebook. Check out some of our other videos. Tell me what you think. If you've got ideas for pens that you've used that you really like, and you've got something you think I might like, let me know in the comments down below, down there, and I will check them out because I like pens. And if you are a manufacturer and want me to try out some pens, definitely let me know. More than happy to oblige. I write regularly, and I carry a pen every day, at least one. So I hope you like the video. And remember, as always, hope is not a strategy.